We're rolling. We're recording. Hi, Becca. Oh! Becca, I have been wanting to bring you onto the Perspectives show for since forever. I think probably from the first episode onwards. So I'm really stoked that you're here with me now. Oh, and this month we're talking about the Solar Plexus realms, and you and I are going to share our perspective on what life looks like looking through the lens of the solar plexus. And when I think of you, honey, I think of you being the most incredible heroine of your own journey. So that's why I've asked you specifically to come on for this episode. So thank you for being here.
You're welcome. Thank you for inviting me. I'm so honored.
Yum. Hey, can I ask you a few icebreaking questions so that our audience can get to know you a little bit more in a different way? Okay. Out of all of the elemental beings, elemental landscapes, earth, air, fire, and water, let's roll with spirit, the fifth element. Which one do you have the strongest affinity towards in this present moment?
Right now, I would have to say earth, which is funny because I've never felt that to be true before as much as it is at the moment. I think there's a lot of different reasons for that. I'm playing more in earthly things and herbs and medicines and stuff. I'm playing more in that realm. Yeah. I live in Canada and we're starting to get springtime here, and so the grass is starting to, creep up underneath the snow, and I'm feeling very connected to that earth landscape right now.
Beautiful. Oh, okay. So let's go into an imaginary landscape, right?
Okay.
Imagine you are an earth elemental being. Where would you be living in an imaginary world, like right now? Where would you want to live?
In the woods. Always in the woods.
In the woods as an earth elemental. I almost think I know the answer to this one. What would be your companion animal by your side? A companion creature?
Oh, definitely a bunny.
It's gorgeous.
Yes, you knew that. I know you knew that.
Can I share with everyone how I knew that? It's not because I'm psychic, even though I am, but me and Becca, we're business partners. So we and although Becca's in Canada and I'm in New Zealand, we share office space. It's like her desk is like on the other side of the desk to me. So we talk every other day. But this week we did an incredible shamanic quest on where I guided Becca through a shamanic journey where she got to meet the soul of her business. And in the meditation, Becca was like on the outskirts of the woods. So glorious that your earth landscape that you'd want to reside in would be the woods, because the soul of your business is in the woods. Like she's a woodland, wild, gorgeous, almost feral, knotted hair, cute little girl, right, in a white dress. Yeah. We've just shared that with the world. She's out now. And right. But by your side was your little bunny you had in childhood, good mocha.
Not even in childhood, young adulthood.
Really?
Yeah. I was in my 20s when I had Mocha. I had her for 7 years.
Wow.
Which is a pretty good lifespan for a little bunny. But she shows up all the time in meditations. She has like a regular like guest starring appearance in a lot of my in a lot of my meditations that somehow often take me to like a garden or something like that, and she's just hanging out there chilling waiting for me. So yeah,
that's so cool. I love that. Okay, so isn't it funny that she made a guest appearance in an episode of Perspectives? Gets around that little bunny.
Okay. She's a
troublemaker. So you and your bunny, and let's bring the soul of your business into this as well. We'll keep her secret because she's like that. What is it that you guys do? Like, what's your big mission? What's the magic that you bring to the world? And I want you to relate that specifically to your most intuitive, like dominant intuitive superpower.
A dominant intuitive superpower.
Like your magic wand activity.
I think in terms of what we bring, I really want to say it's like a connectedness. Mm-hmm. Like we bring a connection between things that were lost or things that have been disconnected along the way. So much of what I do is reconnecting people either to their intuitive gifts, reconnecting them to their self-worth, reconnecting them to their hearts, reconnecting them to their souls. I feel like it's all about connecting to what's there, but the something's been disrupted along the way.
Ooh, can I take that thread and ask you now to help me weave that into the solar plexus perspective? Because for me, you are a role model for being your own hero, your own heroine, which is the archetype of the solar plexus, you know, the warrior archetype, the one who stands in his power. We are like the yangs, like we possess that masculine, divine masculine archetype within our being, just as much as we do the feminine divine. You're a role model for that. I really see you as that. And if we're thinking about disconnection and connection, your perspective, your journey, how is it that you were put in the position to have to be your own hero, and how did you come to that?
It's funny because I think a lot of disconnect comes in removing your own power or removing your awareness of your own power, right?
Yeah.
This is the power I stand in. This is something that I can do for myself. So what we do is we put so much of our own power into things that are external, right? We expect other people to tell us that we're powerful. We expect to find our worth in things that are out there. We expect to find our answers in things that aren't in us. We go searching for all the things that have been here all along.
Yeah.
And so in being a warrior and really engaging that power of the solar plexus is taking that empowered action to stand knowing I've got this. I have this power. I don't need to look outside for approval or for permission or for anyone to tell me that this power is mine. It's mine because I'm owning it and I say it is.
I see you like in the clearing in the forest, right? You know, like almost putting your staff down into the earth, and as you do it, it's like a Gandalf moment.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Define being your own hero, you know, that maybe we're speaking language that people are like, what are they on about? What does it mean to be your own hero? What does that look like in like everyday operation?
Everyday operation in being your own hero means, to me, it means that I'm not restricted to live inside this bubble of what's familiar. I'm not restricted to like the comfort zone. I can feel my feelings because I know I'm powerful enough to feel them. I can have my thoughts because I know that, overall I have power over them. I can face the fear. I can confront it. I can move through it. I can release it. and everyday stuff that means like, oh, hey, I'm really scared to do a live stream, or I'm really scared to take this financial risk, or I'm really scared to put my child in daycare, or to sell a home, or to move, or whatever that you've got going on. I'm scared to make changes, but I'm going to do it anyways because I'm powerful, and I know that my adventure, my power, my enlightenment, my opening, my expansion is on the other side of this thing that I fear.
You're one of my heroes. Because you remind me, and anyone who needs to hear this, that we possess all of this. That there is no disconnect other than our illusion of disconnect.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's talk about that fear thing. Because when we first started playing together a year or so ago, I can't remember, you had this incredible coming out, what I saw as you of coming out, and you utilized archetypes in the form of monsters.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, like I'll pull one out of my butt, like the anxiously lizardonders. That's a good one, eh? Like a lizard who like encourages anxiety. The anxious lizardonders. Anyway, we made up these hilarious words. You made up all of them, and I started making up my own fears. Like the emotional fears, like had monster names to them, like dinosaur names or whatever. Can you pull one out of your butt right now? Like what?
Oh, I think one of them was like the belittling behemoth or something that like, you know, just judged you and criticized and nitpicked every little thing that you did, right?
Got it. Belittling behemoth. Yeah, this was hilarious. So when I think of slaying the mean dragon, slaying the mean girl, the dragoness, or rather becoming the master of the dragon. This is this warrior archetype, right? Of like, oh, it's almost like a Saint Michael. The myth of Saint Michael. It's like the dragon is not an enemy or something you need to fear. It is the thing that you need to befriend and have work for you alongside you. And when I think of my dragon, if there was going to be like a constant, persistent dude who is always, it's not belittling, it is I guess it is in a way because it's the not good enough. It's the one who's always going to say, who do you think you are? You don't have what it takes to pull that off. You can't do it like they can. They're always going to do it better. It's like the thumb squashing gnat. It's a gigantic gnat. A gigantic gnat with a big thumb. That's my monster right now. Who are you to do that? So it squishes my level of confidence, and it takes a lot to ride through that and have the courage and to be my own hero. To say, no, fuck off. I'm going to rise up, engage my solar plexus, believe in my own power, and do this shit anyway. You've worked with a lot of women and men throughout the years. People who are battling with their demons, dragons, squashing gnats, whatever they might be. Is there a common theme that you've seen that you want to kind of continue to, I don't know, be an advocate for? Bring enlightenment to?
That's interesting. A common theme. To me, it comes back to a sense of love and worthiness, right?
Yeah.
Because you are so much more likely to want to move through that, to want to tame the beast, to want to, move through those feelings or even feel them in the first place if you feel that you're worthy of what's on the other side of it. right?
Yeah.
So it's really hard to take empowered action. It's hard to stand in your power. It's hard to be a warrior if you don't believe in the cause, right? How do you fight a war where you don't believe in the cause of the war, but you are the cause of your war? You are the thing you're fighting for. So if you don't feel worthy in yourself, how do you fight for that? How do you stand in your power with your staff on the ground and stake your claim if you don't believe in your claim?
There'd be no drive for it. It'd be like, well, what's the point? There's no purpose here.
Yeah, exactly. Which is why people stay stuck in these little bubbles of, oh, I'm not going to go there, I'm not going to do anything. In my work, in my experience, a lot of it comes down to fear and worth, and the relationship between the two is I will fear more because I feel that I'm worth less.
All comes down to self-love. And
it's so funny because I tie in different spiritual and divination tools when I do my coaching. When I think of solar plexus, actually when I think of any of the chakras, I feel like I have like a tarot card in mind for it. And for the solar plexus, it's the magician. It's always the magician. The magician that takes action, the magician that knows he has all the tools. He has everything available to him. He has all the resources. He has all of the elements. Everything is within his grasp to take empowered action and co-create and create whatever you desire.
Anything he wants.
Yeah. So, but we are our own magicians. We are our own warriors in that sense of taking that empowered action, because we have what we need. We have the resources. We have the tools. But then putting them to use is the next step in that.
I think in my deck of cards, the magician is the alchemist. Or is it? I can't remember. But it's definitely this male archetype, and it's almost like he's juggling all the elements. He can create anything as the alchemist. He can turn lead into gold. And it takes self-determination. These are the characteristics of the solar plexus. Self-determination, courage, not being afraid to stand in your own power, even when it feels like you're going to be pushed off a cliff by something completely out of your control. There is such an element to the solar plexus chakra that sustains me. It fuels me. And what I teach and the work that I do is like, how can you make that fuel sustainable as well? You know, it's not the coffee that I had this morning that gives me like this get up and go, although that helps, but that's not sustainable. That's like false fuel. It's almost like chucking diesel into a car that needs petrol. When I would much rather be running on sun power in the first place. So it's sustaining our inner sun, keeping our flame ignited, keeping the burn on. Not so much that it like burns shit to the ground, although sometimes that's necessary as well, but to have this sustainable burn, the inner sun. And I believe that it is action and courage and the will to do and to fuel ourselves with what is right, including food, to keep that going. So if your flame feels snuffed out, I'm really curious to hear about your spiritual psychology take on this, your perspective on this. When your flame feels completely snuffed out, like there's no fire in you, you're in inertia, you're not feeling it. You almost feel like flatlined.
Yeah.
What would be the first step to just spark that up? Like this is the kind of like rescue remedy that when you're at the bottom of the cliff, you're flatlined. How can you be your own hero in that moment?
In my mind, it's two-stepped. there's a two-step process here. One is to create an intention of something better, right? This is something that I desire. This is my intention. This is what I want to move towards. And then take the smallest step towards it. Because the only way to create momentum is through movement.
Yeah.
Right? So inaction begets inaction, right? Movement creates more movement. So just to take even the smallest step, and this is true of psychology and this is true of spirituality. In this one instance, these two blend perfectly together because psychologically, motivationally, when you can look behind and know that you've come farther than you were the day before, that creates a different mindset to keep going. Spiritually, energetically, vibrationally, if you're at a different vibration because you took a single action, you will not see the situation the same as you did the day before.
Damn straight.
So it works on both levels to do these two things: set an intention and take one step towards it. It doesn't even have to be big. Just one step closer.
Okay. So even that, if that one step is giving yourself a decent meal once that day, or lighting a candle to represent the flame that you would like to see within yourself, like little tiny things, little rescue remedy things, whether it is having a fucking shower, getting out of your pants, like wear nice shoes one day instead of your trainers, like whatever it might be. I've experienced many, many years of depression on and off throughout my life, even suicidal tendencies. I know what it's like when you're in that kind of darkness and depth, to take action, to see beyond anything. But you're right, if I was just able to put a different pair of shoes on, wear some nice underwear, like do something to get my confidence up or install some kind of purpose. It was my child, Malika, who's 12 now, which was my saving grace in this moment because I had to do something to be a mother for him. I could have been my own destroyer, probably quite easily, but I couldn't be his destroyer. I had to be his hero. That brought me into my power as a heroine, as a warrior. I fought. I had to fight for my life because I was a mother.
That's so beautiful.
It makes me well up. That was years ago now, when he was about 3. But we're both advocates for that, right?
Yeah, for sure. And back when I worked in mental health, and I worked in primarily with people that were suffering from suicidal tendencies, that was what I did day in and day out for years.
Right.
So the thing that I would suggest that when people were in our in-unit, right on, in our unit, so we had our unit and we had a call line. So when people were in the unit, we did our best to start the action of a simple action of making the bed in the morning.
Cool.
Right? Because the longer you stayed in bed, the worse you felt. So getting out of bed and making the bed meant that you were less likely to get back into bed throughout the day.
Yeah.
Right? So it was one little thing, but to be able to go into your room and see the bed made, you're like, okay, that's done. I did that. I might as well get dressed.
Brilliant.
Right?
Yeah, because I'm not going to hop back into bed. And I'll have a shower. I'm not just going to get dressed. Yes. I get that there is a time and place for medication to help us get through difficulty in reference to what we're talking about. And even still, though, these other tools are the things that I would probably say, yeah, I did utilize when I was trying to come off medication. Every single time I came off medication. we've talked about rescue remedy, being your own hero, like the action of your rescue remedy, how to rescue yourself out of that situation, to be your own warrior. And have fun with fears. I think if we were to like sum this up, it's like, name your fears. Is it the belittling behemoth? Like, and then you had these gorgeous little cartoon characters that you would create, little vector cartoons, and it broke them down into these little, I don't know, these characters that we had control over. Like, I'm governing how you look, what color you are, how funny your teeth are, like how googly your eyes are. It's like we gave them a face and a name. They became my pets.
And they weren't scary anymore.
They weren't scary anymore. They were kind of cute. It's like, oh, you gnat. Oh, you behemoth. What are you doing, silly?
Yeah. And that's funny because it's that was a lesson I learned. This is going to sound so silly, but that was something that was in a childhood movie I watched when I was a kid. I don't know if anyone else, if you guys are familiar with the Never-Ending Story.
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay, so the thing that was destroying the Never-Ending Story world, it was just this terrible, horrible thing until Bastian gave it a name. And then they could fight it because now it had a name.
Oh, I got goosebumps. Yes.
Right? Like that's true of everything that's scary. Ooh. The thing that's under your bed, the thing that's in your closet, the thing that's on the other side of your comfort zone, whatever it is, if you give it a name, it brings it out into the light and then you can go, oh, you're not, things that have no name are way scarier than things that you've named. Because then you are taking your power back. So giving something a name has tremendous power, because then you can refer to it not as that scary thing that I don't want to talk about. Now I have a name for you.
I've identified you. I've kind of claimed you as something that's like legit, and I'm working with this. I love that. Penny dropped for me. I knew that, like, the story of the Never-Ending Story, I know it's a childhood fave, but having been young when I've seen it, I never really clicked that. Name it. Oh my gosh. I think there's a lot of very valuable nuggets in this episode of Perspectives, and I'm going to be reflecting on it, and I would love our audience, our listeners and watchers to be reflecting on it. And to continue this conversation with us. Both me and Becca are keen to continue riffing and jamming on this topic and wherever it unfolds from here. Is there anything else you would like to wrap up with?
I don't know. I guess I really want to emphasize the fact that whether you feel that it's true or not, you have everything you need. You've always been complete. Right? We've always been complete and powerful. So we have it. It's about acknowledging it and then using it. Because that's what warriors do, right? They acknowledge that they're powerful and then they go out and change the world.
Another Gandalf moment. I'm with you on that. Thank you, Becca.
Thank you.
This has been such fun to hang out with you in Perspectives. I'm going to make sure that everyone knows how they can discover you in the world that you live in, forest or snow or wherever. And thank you.
My pleasure. It was fun to be here.
Brilliant. All right, darling. Until next time. Catch you later, guys.